This message is not only for black folks, it's for everyone. But I mention black folks specifically in this video because we have this trend amongst black folks today. It didn't start today, it started a few decades ago, in which black folks want to return to their quote-unquote roots, and they embrace ancestor worship from Africa. They think that's their root. But okay, I'm not going into the history of ancestor worship right now. I just want to tell you, cut it out. Stop relying on your quote-unquote ancestors. I say quote-unquote ancestors because those spirits that you're relying upon are not your ancestors. Let me repeat that. Those spirits you're relying upon are not your ancestors. A human being, when the body expires, whether due to old age or due to an accident or however, the human being himself or herself descends into Sheol, where they will remain inactive until Christ returns and resurrects them. You get what I'm saying? So that implies that nobody is neither in the lake of fire at the moment, nor in the heavens, especially not heavens, because we were never designed for the heavens. But I've spoken about that often before. So every human being that passed away, they still exist, but they're not active on the earth in the earth now. They are inactive. So they can't hear you, they can't speak to you, they can't do anything because they're not in their bodies. They'll be active again at the resurrection when the Most High will resurrect them. And only the Most High can resurrect them. Not even demons can contact people that pass away. They can't. What demons can do is impersonate those that passed away. And that is what they do. So when you go to a shaman or a witch doctor to quote-unquote speak to your ancestors, you are speaking to scammers. Those demons are scamming you into thinking that you are relating to your ancestors, your great-great-great-grandfather or great-great-grandmother. So when you rely on those spirits who pretend to be your ancestors, the demons will use this false belief of yours to trick you into self-destruction, but the self-destruction will be delayed. So it can be that you want to get rid of false friends, and you're relying on several of those ancestral spirits. And indeed it works. The spirits reveal to you who is fake and who doesn't have your best interest. So they do good things for you. But the good those spirits do is to trap you into self-destruction. So now you lost those fake friends, and now you want people to benefit you. But here's the thing, your mindset is not right. But the demons will not tell you this because the demons need that mindset to keep you in bondage. So now you receive other folks in your life, and you want to have a grip on them, so you become a control freak. And because you become a control freak, now people will become upset with you. Now they want to move away from you. And when they move away from you, the ancestors tell you, well, those people were never meant for you anyway. You see how this goes? They keep you in self-destruction, and they're using you to bring others into destruction. And once they're done with you, they will dump you, they will dispose you. They will get rid of you. That's what the demons do. Now think about this for a moment. Even if this is not the case, but even if your ancestors would be able to be active without a body and assist you, ask yourself the question. I'm talking to black folks now. Your ancestors going way back to, let me say, the Roman era. That's a lot of folks, okay? Now think about this. In the 1500s, early 1500s, when the Portuguese came, why didn't your ancestors in spirit. They are spirit beings. All human beings are spirit beings, but they are without a body, so they have more abilities than you because you are in a body, so you have to deal with the physical limitations. They don't. Why didn't they fought off the Portuguese? Why didn't your ancestors cause the Portuguese ships to sink? Why didn't your ancestors cause, let me say, a financial depression in Portugal? Why didn't they cause the downfall of Portugal to protect you, to protect your ancestors around 400 years ago? Because around 400 years ago, not 400 years ago, around 500 years ago, when the Portuguese began with the slave trade, the transatlantic slave trade, the ancestors of those people that lived back then should have protected them against the Portuguese. Why didn't they do it? And now you have ancestors that lived during slavery. If they are with you and walking with you, why aren't they killing off the Uncle Toms and Coons amongst the black folks? They have descendants. If they see that some of their descendants are wicked, why don't they kill their wicked descendants to protect their loyal and good descendants? Why aren't they doing it? You have to look at the bigger picture. The reason they're not doing it because it's not your ancestors you're relating to. It's scamming spirits. Ancestral spirits are not your ancestors. Ancestral spirits are scammers that pretend to be your ancestors to get a hold on you. And about black folks, there's a lot of sexual molestation going on there also amongst children. And you have women tolerating their boyfriends to touch their daughters. You have a lot of BS going on in what you can call the black community. Why aren't those ancestors preventing or preventing the old molestation, or why aren't they striking down their descendants that are out of line? Because your ancestors need their posterity to remain. Because without you, they have no worshippers, right? So they must protect their lineage. Now, why aren't they protecting their lineage by eliminating the wicked ones from the lineage? Why aren't they doing it? And here's one thing I want you to consider. Not all your ancestors were good people. There were, quote-unquote, Uncle Toms back then also. There were rapists amongst them. There were murderers amongst them. There were narcissists. There were sociopaths. There were cowards amongst them. So not all your ancestors were good people. Okay? So even if your ancestors would be able to contact you, how do you know you can trust that ancestor? Maybe that quote-unquote ancestor that contacted you was a coward who betrayed his own family to get some gold from some European merchant from Spain. And now that ancestor is contacting you for what? Why is he contacting you? You don't know who those quote-unquote ancestors are. Look, today, if you apply for a job, they all do a background check into your past. Sometimes till 5 years prior to you receiving the job. Why? They want to know who they're dealing with. That's what they do in here and now. And now you worship your ancestors and you don't do a background check concerning your ancestors. Come on. What is this? Look, I'm not attacking anyone who's in ancestor worship. I'm just explaining to you. I know I'm addressing black folks directly now, but this counts for everyone that's listening to this. If you're involved in ancestor worship, you are involved in demon worship because it's really demons you're dealing with. And those entities, they feed off of you. They are parasites, so every good thing they do for you is only to trap you for something worse that's about to happen. Some of them will use you to cause destruction in the lives of others. And once they cause the destruction, they will leave and the human beings that are affected will come after you. Because the human beings don't see the evil spirits that use you, they only see you. Just think about it. How can you be certain that those ancestors that you are relying upon are reliable? If even the people in the here and now that are alive in their bodies, you can't rely on all of them. There are many you can't rely upon. So if during their physical life, many were not reliable, what makes you think that after departing from the body, they become reliable? Come on. A lot of black folks turn to ancestor worship because they're disappointed in what they call the black church. They're disappointed in those pagan pastors. Well, I'm glad you're disappointed. But remember, Christ has nothing to do with a human institution. Okay? If you want to follow Christ, follow him directly. Walk by faith. Don't rely on an institution to go there every Sunday and pay money to be relieved. But that's what a lot of black folks do. And when that doesn't work out, they think, I need something better. And they end up in witchcraft. They end up in ancestor worship. And there they get results far quicker. So they think, I should have been doing this my whole life. No. You're going from bad to worse. You only have relief for a moment. And that relief will cancel itself out. Look, I want you to walk in life in abundance. I want you to walk in real safety. And you're not safe with unclean spirits. Again, ask yourself the following. Why aren't your ancestors dealing with their wicked offspring? Why aren't they dealing with them? Why is it that you have to face the wickedness of your own people? Sometimes at the expense of your safety. You're being scammed by those malevolent entities. When Christ returns and you're resurrected, Christ will show you your quote-unquote ancestors. And you'll find out they weren't your ancestors at all. And even if you would meet some of your ancestors, when Christ returns, they won't even know who you are. If you have ancestors that died in the year 800 AD, they don't know anything about what happened the centuries afterwards. They don't know any of their descendants. So when Christ returns and you would talk about your ancestors, your real ancestors would be like, huh? I don't know this individual. I never talked to this individual. I know that I died and now I'm alive again and I'm seeing the Creator. But I never knew these descendants. I'm telling you, you're being scammed. The real safety, true safety, is when you agree with Christ. And when I talk about Christ, I'm not talking about Cesare Borgias. I'm not talking about that image that the Roman Catholic Church has spread around. I'm talking about the Most High himself, who incarnated as a human being, who was crucified, whom they murdered in a ritual manner. But the Most High allowed this to happen so that he could glorify himself in the resurrection. And he wants us all to rely on him, not only to be delivered from self-destruction, but also to walk by faith and to glorify him in the here and now on the earth. No talk about going to heaven and all of that here. You're meant to glorify the Most High in the here and now. Well, that's it for this video. Again, I'm not attacking anyone, I'm just pointing out the facts. And I want you to think about this. But above all, as I always say, agree with Christ and be at peace.